So there's little chance that this model will go into the history books as the best ever Herpa model, but why I still like it, we'll find out now. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A330-200 of Emirates. At the front of the box we have this lovely rendition of the aircraft and we have the Emirates branding. On the back side of the box we then have the original dimensions of the aircraft, a little bit more information about the aircraft itself, and again a lovely rendition of the aircraft. A simple but beautiful box. Herpa, look at this. Simple but beautiful. You can do it if you want to. And here she is, the Airbus A330-200 in the current livery of Emirates. Now this aircraft type hasn't been in use with Emirates since 2016, but I bet the airline wouldn't mind having some of them around these days instead of some A380s or 777s. But let's not waste any more time and let's take a closer look at the actual model. And we start off with the tail section, where we have the stylized version of the flag of the UAE on the vertical stabilizer. On the fuselage we then find the full registration code of the aircraft, and at the very tail we then have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft across the fuselage we then have the Emirates branding in English and in Arabic. Underneath that we have the web address of the airline. The cockpit section itself is rather bare boned, but we do have the aircraft type specification, the cockpit windows and the window wipers. However, I'm not entirely happy with the placement of the cockpit windows. Or is it rather the shape of the nose? I can't quite figure it out, but it does look a little bit strange from some angles. The engine nacelles have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but they do carry the Emirates branding, and we also have the lovely silver leading edges. Overall, I think the engine nacelles look rather decently detailed. I especially like how they look if you look here from the backside. But of course, also if we look into the engines from the front, we can then also very nicely see the engine fan blades. The wings themselves don't offer too much, but we do have the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely, and we do have some different shades of grey for additional detailing here on the top side. The underside I think looks okay. Here we then also find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. The highlight on the wings have to be the winglets, which look very nice with the Emirates branding printed on as well. You might already have noticed it in some of the shots before. If you look here at the belly, we have the lovely Emirates branding on the belly. But the main reason I want to show you this is, notice how there is no hole in the fuselage. Yes, this model is from a time before Herpa started doing this nonsense, so we have the lovely detailing here and it hasn't been destroyed. Great. The landing gear, or more specifically here the main landing gear, is rather basic, but it does its job and I think it looks okay. It's rather decent in my opinion. The front landing gear, the same thing here. Of course I would like to have some markings, but as always, we only get those with Herpa Wings Club models. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the back side of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A330-200 in the current livery of Emirates. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, when it comes to the physical details, I think it's a decent job from Herpa Wings. I don't really like the shape of the nose or the placement of the cockpit windows. I can't quite figure out what it is there that I don't like, but there's something wrong there. That leads us to the print, because overall the print is good. There aren't really any faults. Of course, we should definitely have more details, but we could even have a current release which wouldn't have more details than this. So, hey, I don't really think we can fault the model here. And we have, for example, the Emirates branding on the belly, and it's undisturbed. It's not been destroyed by a pointless hole in the fuselage. And while it will never go into the history books as the best ever Herpa model, it comes from a time before Herpa made nonsense. And it even comes in a beautiful box. And for that alone, I would say, yes, it's worth having in one's collection. So with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.